New Year's resolutions and planning. I want to talk to you a little bit today about why it's so important not just to have great New Year's resolutions. It's that time of year when everybody's super excited, and this year more so than ever before, with not only going into a new year but going into a new decade, 2020. It's the start of something fantastic. But the reality is any single day can be the start of something fantastic. And that is what is the most important part. I'm Tristan Griffiths. I run a digital media agency called It's Nomad 9. We remove the overwhelm from social media and content creation. You can find me as ImTristanG across all the socials. Please do connect with me wherever you like to hang out. I want to talk to you about the importance of not just having resolutions, but having a plan. Think about how many times you may have planned to eat more healthily, to exercise more, to spend more quality time with the family and your friends, to write that letter, to send that email, to keep in touch with someone slightly better. But the reality is the best intentions fall to the wayside when you don't have a good plan. Planning is really, really important. If you don't have a plan, there's no way for you to know how predictably you're going to be able to stay on track with something. How are you going to measure it? How are you going to know it's going to work? How do you know the steps that you need to take in order to make sure that you're maintaining whatever that resolution is, be it healthy eating, exercise, keeping in touch with friends? Now, Louisa does a fantastic job of creating a bullet journal, and that is her way of tracking lots of different aspects of her life, in personal life and in business, to make sure that she's on track with all of the parts of what she's doing. Now, that's one way you can do it. It might be a calendar, it might be physical, it might be digital. You need to find what works for you when you plan how to stay on track. I'm not knocking resolutions, because everybody should have things that they aspire to be better at, the things that they're looking to achieve this year, the goals, the dreams, the things that are going to improve their life and, more importantly, the lives of those around them. For me, my impact this year is all about trying to help even more people than we did in 2019. That means providing more workshops. That means giving more digital delivery so that people internationally can access even more training. That's about us gifting things back into the community that creates our livelihood. That's us giving opportunities when we go away, like we just have to Milan, speaking at the Marketing Business Summit in Milan, where we took someone with us so they got an opportunity to learn from what was happening at the event, but also gain access to us on an unparalleled level. Moving forward this year, I'm going to be opening up a whole load of different workshops that people will be able to come and attend. They're going to be smaller, more intimate, but much more hands-on and much more intensive. Because we also realise that people sometimes need to step out from where they are in order to achieve greatness in any area. So without a plan, how are you going to achieve that resolution? How are you going to achieve that greatness? It's really important that you set a plan and you have to take a constant set of actions that follow that plan in order to achieve. Now, like I said, I'm not knocking anyone who's made resolutions today. Today is the first day of a new year, of a new decade, and I'm reaching out to you to make you think a little bit differently. Think about those resolutions not just as a thing that you aspire for, but something that you're planning for. I want you to start, if you haven't already, putting a plan in place. If you're going to plan to keep in touch with an old friend or maybe a relative that you don't speak to so much, put it in your calendar, put it in your journal, set it as a reminder on your phone that once a month you'll pick up the phone, you'll write that letter or you'll write that email. Put the things in place to make sure that you can stay on track. Now, even with the best plan and the best reminders and the best system in place, you can still fall off the wagon. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because despite only being one day into the new year, I'm already nearly through my first book for 2020. And some of the learnings from that are around things like when you do stumble, when you do fall over, very much like I say to people doing video, if you make a mistake, at least you're learning, you're making progress, you're taking the next step. When you do, just don't give up. Make sure that you get back on. You know, people say fall off your bike, get back on. For me, it's really important that you don't leave big gaps. So many people stumble and they have a a bit of a wobble in a certain area and they don't then get back to doing what they were doing. Maybe they were doing video consistently for a little while and then they stopped. And then it's hard to get back into it because they've lost the momentum, they've lost the flow. We talk a lot to our clients about the flow of creating content and creating video, in the fact that when you are in your peak state of creating video or writing blogs or taking photos, then do more of it because you're in that state. And it's really important that you capture that essence and you make the most of it. So when you get out of that state, how do you get yourself back there? I know for one that people like Disney created spaces that were specifically designed for the creative process. They have rooms that offer nothing but creative. They're literally unused unless they're in the creative process. What's your system that you've got in place to make sure that you can constantly stay on track with your plans, that you can constantly be creative, that you can constantly come up with new ideas, and that you can constantly create content and start telling your story, getting your message out there and marketing your business better to the world? We live in a world where we speak a lot about influence and influencers through social media, and these are people with big followings on Instagram and Facebook and now TikTok, and the influence that they have, don't get caught up in the vanity metrics. It's not the number of people that follow them, it's the number of people that actively follow them. And from that, it's really important that you understand the influence that you then have on other people. You don't need a big group of people. Daniel Priestley talks about this a lot, in the fact that you don't actually need a big audience, you need an engaged audience in order to have a successful business or a successful brand. Those people who wait for your next release, your whatever that is, a book, an email sequence, a publication, whatever it is that you're releasing, they're ready and they're waiting and they want to engage with you. So what are you doing to get yourself to that place? Today, I want you really to think about any resolutions that you've already made, and I want you to get a plan in place to make sure that you are consistently able to deliver it. You're consistently able to stay on top of those resolutions and to achieve them. Nobody wants to set a resolution that they can't keep, but quite often people set the bar quite low. I want you to raise the bar and I want you to set a plan in place to do it. If you need some help with that, please do reach out to me. This year for me is all about helping as many people as possible, and I'd love to help you stay on track and to really hit the resolutions, the plans, the goals that you've got for this year, for 2020 and for the next decade. So please do reach out to me. You can find me as ImTristanG across all the socials. Connect with me wherever you'd most like to hang out. I look forward to helping you. Have a fantastic year, have a fantastic decade, and as always, my big ask of you is, if you found this useful, or maybe even if you don't know if anyone in your community wants to hear this, hit that share button, because someone might thank you today for sharing this message with them.